Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host Paul James, and today I'm joined by Matto Phillips and Damo Camilleri, a show that we might also dub the Office Cast. How are you, gents?
I'm pretty good.
Damo and I just conveniently enough were wearing Office Dunder Mifflin shirts, and Matto decided to get on the act and has done a fantastic job. So, audio listeners, make sure to quickly flick over to the YouTube version and see Matto's wonderful take on a Dunder Mifflin Paper Company shirt.
I forgot to end in the company part, so it just says paper compay.
Compay. Compay.
It's like the Sone controller. It's all good.
Oh.
So today we are talking about, and we kind of suggested this a little bit when we were doing our updates episode last week. We kind of poked a little bit of fun at Capcom and some unfortunate circumstances befalling them at the moment. They got hacked, or there's specifically like a ransomware thing, which I didn't even know ransomware was a thing. But apparently it's just basically like internet people being held to ransom. It's just people like tacking the word "where" on the end and making it into an internet thing. But anyway,
Did you hear about the movie that got held ransom by some hackers? I can't remember what movie it was.
That got held ransom. No,
it was some.
There was like a Sony hack at one point.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Wasn't that like
I don't know if it was Spider-Man or Venom or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember something like that. I didn't realize it was being held for ransom anyway, but yeah, so there was a ransomware attack on Capcom anyway. Whole bunch of, getting all the negative stuff out of the way. There was a whole bunch of personal details that were leaked for staff, for customers, not credit card details or any of those sorts of things. So the important stuff, the stuff that might cost you money, nothing to worry about there. But still shitty nonetheless. But one of the things that kind of came out of it that is a newsworthy item, and the stuff that we will focus on rather than acknowledging that people are dickheads when they're stealing people's details, is the fact that basically a 4-year plan for Capcom got leaked in the process, and what they plan on launching between this point and Q4 2024. So basically actually a 5-year period really. And so neither of you two have actually seen the list. You asked for it earlier. I thought we'll keep it as a surprise. That way I can kind of drop things on you and see how you react at the same time. So I'm going to start rattling through some of the games on the list. Some are bigger than others, but most of them are all pretty high-profile franchises and titles. And we'll just see what you think about the game itself and the timing of it. So the first thing, and this is in the order that these games will release, I might add. The first thing on the list coming out Q4 2021, so the end of next year, is a game called Resident Evil Outrage. What sort of game do we think that is? Because that doesn't sound like a remake.
Yeah. I feel like it's a boxing simulator.
Mr. X and the Nemesis just going head to head.
5 rounds.
And it'd be as underwhelming as Mike Tyson and whoever that clown was that he was up against today.
Oh,
that was a real fight that went on that was like a draw. I don't know.
You don't know any boxing friends, do you?
No, I have no idea. I just know it ended.
Stay away.
I just know it ended in a draw. Am I doubling down on something I shouldn't be doubling down on here? I don't know anything about this boxing fight.
That's fine. I'm sure the tweets are just going to get mad at the fact that you've mentioned our Lord and Savior Mike Tyson without the proper respect there. But it's okay.
Who was he up against?
I don't know. No one cares. It's Mike Tyson.
Apparently he made $10 million for a draw.
Mike Tyson makes $20 million just waking up in the morning, all right? He's like, smoke some weed.
I'm pretty sure when your mid-cards got a YouTuber and some former basketball player, you don't have to worry about it too much.
Yeah, it's fair. So Outrage. Outside of it being a boxing sim featuring Mike Tyson and some other dude, what do we think it might be? Because they're on a bit of a tear with Resident Evil titles at the moment.
Did Matto say VR?
Yes.
You reckon it could be VR as well?
Yeah.
It's an exercise game.
Getting that vibe.
That'd be terrifying.
Zombie run, but no, I just think it'll be a first-person VR thing or their battle royale.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, Smash game.
No, like Fortnite or
that type of battle royale.
Apex.
Oh yeah,
Where
I got you there.
you'll just be standing in the center and zombie hordes will be coming at you.
So it's like
or
what do you
whatever,
say?
but you're trying to
Dead
kill
by
each other
Daylight.
too.
Yeah, tower defensey.
Like
Yeah,
you
no, like
monsters
you're trying
versus.
to you're probably maybe trying to kill each other too, because there's only like a room
Oh,
on the
yeah,
helicopter
actually, that sounds
for
right.
enough, like for enough for like 4 people. So like your team is trying to kill everybody else.
I don't know
Get
about
to
you
the
guys though.
helicopter.
If I got down to that final 4 and we're all about to jump on the helicopter, I think I'd be the dickhead who'd try and kill those other 3 though, just to see if I can get
I
out
would
on
too.
my own. Like,
I would. There's only one winner here.
another thing to note actually that's not part of this leak was that there was a leak. I think it was the Xbox Store. I don't know, a month or 2 ago that also suggests that April 2021 is when Resident Evil 8 or Village will come out. So that's not on this list and it will come out supposedly, well, and most likely will come out before all of this stuff anyway. But yeah, Resident Evil Outrage Q4 2021. Next thing on the list, I don't think is a franchise that has that much appeal for either of you two. I don't think either of you played the first game, and neither did I really. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Never heard of it.
There was the first one that came out on PS3 and 360. You had these pawns. They were kind of like your NPCs, but really customizable and stuff. I don't know. It was a bit weird. There was a remaster that came to current gen consoles. I think maybe even the Switch as well. It's got a cult following, but does it mean anything to either of you two?
Nope.
That's all right. We'll move on. Q2 2022 for that one. The next one is a game that'll be, well, it's a fairly well-known franchise. Street Fighter 6 is going to be out in Q3 2022, apparently.
Ooh.
What do we think about getting a new Street Fighter game? The last one, or 5, was exclusive to the PS4 and I think PC, but it didn't come to Xbox or Nintendo in any way. Do we see this coming to everyone, or is this going to be PlayStation exclusive again?
Wow. That is a
Nah.
great question.
Nah, new console war.
Yeah,
Come to both?
I reckon it'll be out of the PS4.
PS5, you mean?
Or unless they go to the Xbox and they use that new little controller thing that people don't really have working hands.
Oh, the adaptive controller.
Yeah. Maybe they can use it for that.
Possibly. I mean, I'd imagine there'd be some sort of functionality for those who are unable to use the traditional controller for whatever reason. I guess it's possible. That'd be an extra perk. I'd imagine it'll come to both. And maybe even Nintendo if they're, they've got their what's the rumored update to the Switch again? The high powered one, the Switch
Pro.
Yeah. So maybe that as well.
What naming?
In the same quarter of the year, we're also supposedly going to get a game called, Rockman in Japan, but Mega Man Match.
Rockman.
Yeah.
Rockman.
So, yeah, Mega Man in English. Mega Man Match.
Right.
Which, the match word concerns me. Like, is it just going to be like some match 3 puzzle game? I don't know. It'd be good to just see a real Mega Man game. Oh.
I've never played Mega Man. Never played it.
You haven't played any of the Mega Mans before?
Not that I don't think so. Might have played Mega Man in a Smash game, but that was about it.
It's close.
I thought, what's this? What are you doing here, Mega Man? Get out of here. Well, then again, I can say the same about Snake. He shouldn't be there either. But hey, he's there.
Shit happens. Konami likes money. Damo, you have any thoughts on a Mega Man game coming out in 2 years from now?
Oh, for sure. Fucking yes. Yes to more Mega Man. Thank you. If it's a Smash game, if it's a fighter game, if it's a Mega Man RPG, if it's Mega Man, I don't care. Mega Man's... Look, I suck at Mega Man games. Will admit it. The story is fantastic. The character design's always great. Music is just top tier. More of that shit in my life is great, even for a game that I suck at.
Yes, man. I mean, the Mega Man 2 theme is awesome, and that just pops into my head every now and then, and I'm pretty happy with that. So they do good music. Next one is meant to come out 1 quarter later, and this is probably I suppose Street Fighter's in the list, but this is arguably the biggest game of the list, potentially, is Resident Evil 4 Remake. Which, kind of makes sense. We've seen Resident Evil 2 was a 2019 game, 2020 for 3, Resident Evil 4 being a kind of bigger, more prestigious game than even those two, as beloved as Resident Evil 2 is in particular. 2022 seems about right. And I couldn't imagine it coming any sooner because Resident Evil 8 comes out next year.
Oh, the Village game, yes.
Yeah, Village.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it'd come out in the same year as a brand new Resident
one.
Evil game. And yeah, exercising game as well.
Outrage, our box VR game.
That comes out what, next year? Or the 2020?
Outrage is the end of next year. Resident Evil 8 supposedly April next year, and then bit over a year later, and you'll get Resident Evil 4 remake.
Maybe I'll get around to playing 2 one of these days.
Oh, play 2. That is the best game of last year. That remake, which I never thought I'd say about any Resident Evil game ever, but is the best game of last year.
Especially a remake.
Yeah, especially
a remake. It was the beginning of the remakes, and look how that one turned out. Turned out great.
Yeah, it turned out pretty awesome. Next one, do either of you two have any love for Onimusha?
Who?
Onimusha?
It was a PS2.
Who is Onimusha?
It was a PS2 kind of hack-and slashy sort of game, action game. Clearly not. So we won't dwell too much on that. But that's coming out Q4 2022 as well. Can't wait. Another big one that's really going to float a few boats here. Q2 2023 is Monster Hunter 6. Which raises a few questions for me. And I did some digging on this one. What would you deem to be Monster Hunter 5? Is that world? Is that because obviously we had Monster Hunter 4
Generations?
It's kind of getting confusing. There's like Generations, there's World, there's Rise that comes out to the Switch next year.
There's the other one. Isn't there 2 coming for the Switch?
Yeah, but that's a specific site. Like, that's very clearly labelled as a side story thing. So they got Monster Hunter Stories and then Stories 2. So they've clearly gone off on their own path there with those. But yeah, you have those other 3 games at any. So I did a bit of reading on that one actually to kind of find out, because I figured this would probably help clarify some of our questions about what this could be.
Is it a game about monsters?
Yes, Monster Hunter 5 is Monster Hunter World.
There you go.
So I found an
Monster Hunter
interview
World 2.
So that would be my guess, basically, a follow-up to Monster Hunter World. November 1st, 2017, there was an article that Polygon, but they had an interview with one of the heads of Capcom, and Monster Hunter 5 implies the existence of Monster Hunters 1 to 4, and people will feel a certain kind of pressure to catch up on existing games, said Ryozu Sugimoto.
Don't snuff up the day.
Yeah, I think I did that all right. Sugimoto, Monster Hunter World's producer. That's going to take a long time. They may think maybe I should not bother, or they just feel like, hey, it's not for me. The train's already left the station on the series for me. So by calling it Monster Hunter World, we're telling people it doesn't matter how much Monster Hunter familiarity you have. This is your ultimate jumping in point for the series. So they just kind of dropped the numbers there, and I'd imagine Monster Hunter 6 in this leak is just like a code name. For now, similar to probably
not
Mega Man
Monster
Match,
Hunter.
for example. Yeah, it's actually it's Monster Hunter movie, the game.
It's just Phoenix Wright.
That's actually a sad one that doesn't feature in the list. Spoilers, but yeah, no Phoenix Wright in the list. That or it was just a small fry thing, and they didn't even care to list it. But
just threw it out. Like who's Phoenix Wright?
I assume we want it to be more Monster Hunter World stuff, essentially a Monster Hunter World 2. Darren,
yeah.
You're the veteran of the 3 of us.
I know, it's...
More
sausage. Do you want to see more of the old style, or do you want to see more what they've done with World?
Well, I mean, I want to see 2 different things continuing on at all times. Like, I never want to see just Monster Hunter World, and I never want to just see the pure Japanese version of Monster Hunter. Don't get me wrong, I love it.
So there's a sweet spot
thing, but yeah, at the same time, it's kind of tough because you're just like, one of them, if you're playing World, it's great for beginners, and it's great, and it's got all these things, and it's got all the things that the Japanese people didn't put into the previous Monster Hunter games, but then it took away some of the essence of Monster Hunters, and people were like, oh, you veterans, you're weaklings and stuff like that. I don't know. It's tough. Look, I'm not saying no to it. I want more Monster Hunter World. I think it's fantastic. Problem is, where do you go?
Well,
He just kept going. He just kept going and going.
Here's some perspective on the whole thing. Now, at the end of the day, these guys are like, they're all companies and they all like to make money. The best-selling Monster Hunter game before World came out was Monster Hunter Portable 3 or Freedom 3. I think it was a PSP game, maybe. Sold 4.9 million, which is pretty decent number given it came out on the PSP where everyone just pirated everything. But Monster Hunter World Iceborne specifically on its own has sold 6.6 million copies, and the core game has sold 16.4 million copies.
Oof.
So
wow.
World on its own has sold probably more copies. I'm trying to do some very quick maths, but roughly equal to every other game in the franchise combined. Pretty close.
Yeah.
Sorry, of those core games. So again, we're not going to count stories in there, but for that reason alone, I think it's pretty clear that basically Monster Hunter 6 is like a World 2, like, or whatever the next thing, like a follow-up to World. As Damo drops out of the chat, we've lost him. He's so devastated by the whole thing that in the meantime, I'm going to flick to the two of us and try and... Oh, here he comes. Damo's coming.
Wait for it.
This is the wonders of live podcasting. Damo, he's back.
Happened
There he is.
Did you boot me?
I didn't.
I got booted. Paul booted me, people.
I was in the process of quick scrambling to try and re-edit the thing so it'd just be Matto and I in the two-man version, but it wasn't working. So I'm glad you came back. So yeah,
it's okay. You didn't miss much.
Monster Hunter 6 Q2 2023. Next one, we're about halfway through the list now. Biohazard Apocalypse, which is Biohazard's what Resident Evil gets called in Japan. So it confuses me that they're listing some things as Resident Evil and then one thing as Biohazard, because there's another Resident Evil thing still to come in this list. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, Biohazard Apocalypse, whatever that is, that actually sounds more like, and this is Q3 2023, this sounds more like your multiplayer style game. Whether it's a Battle Royale style or not, it sounds like a multiplayer thing. I don't know about the two of you. Nothing? Not
No.
really? It's kind of hard to know. They can do anything with that. The next one we can kind of breeze over because it's Super Street Fighter 6. So we've already got Street Fighter 6, and then a year later they're planning on putting out their Super version of it. And for what it's worth, in Q4 2024, they're going to do Ultra Street Fighter 6 because they just like to squeeze every dollar out of you, the dodgy bastards.
What about Premium Street Fighter?
I'm sure there'll be one that's Super Ultra
Runs on Premium.
Master Street Fighter 6. But yeah, so Q4 2023 for Super Street Fighter 6 and Q4 2024 for Ultra Street Fighter 6. There's 3 more games to talk about. Do either of you remember Final Fight?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've heard of it.
Final Fight Remake is a thing. That's coming Q2 2024.
That's a long way away.
Yeah, it feels like a long way away, but they're already planning for it and they've already got a rough window of time for it. So
2024.
I'm
going to be so old.
And we'll still be, by that point, playing Monster Hunter 6.
And by that time, we may have played 2 plays for Monster Hunter World in there as well.
Cat. It's coming.
4 years later.
1 quarter later, do we remember Power Stone?
No.
It's like an old Smash Bros style game, if I recall. But kind of no-name characters, really. That's also getting a remake, Q3 2024.
Jeez, they're scraping the barrel for remakes here. They're just going, what games are there? What games are there that no one remembers, but let's make a remake of it anyway?
Yeah, there's three remakes on the list there, yeah. Final Fight, Power Stone, and then the actual one that people care about, yeah, Resident Evil 4. We've just mentioned Ultra Street Fighter 6, and then closing things out, and I really am keen to hear your theories on what this game could be. Our final Resident Evil game on the list is a game called, and it's coming Q4 2024, it's a game called Resident Evil Hank. Hank.
Tom Hanks?
It's Tom Hanks.
Oh, well, that's it. Tom Hanks becomes a zombie, clearly.
No, he plays Leon.
Here in Australia,
Old
of course,
Leon.
too, because that's where he got COVID, so he died here. The news just hasn't gotten out. He died here. Tom Hanks died here from COVID. And 4 years later, we're making a game about it.
Or maybe it's one of his kids. Maybe it's just the whole Hanks family
God.
in an apocalypse.
We just talk about Tom Hanks, not just think about that Family Guy thing. Tom Hanks, everything he says is a stitch. I'm not going to then repeat what his line was, but Peter thinks it's hilarious.
Or maybe it's just Tom Hanks and Tim
has
Allen.
AIDS?
Yeah, something about Tom Hanks having AIDS, yeah.
I have AIDS.
Or maybe it's a buddy game with Tim Allen.
Oh.
I mean, Hank. What? Is this the beginning of Resident Evil? I don't know. Like, did we go back? Maybe Hank stands for something?
I think people have done some digging. No one seems like it
Project
must be like
Hank.
some really obscure character called Hank or something, or maybe someone that gets introduced in, say, Resident Evil 8, for example. So people just don't know who that is yet. Like, it could be Resident Evil 9. The timing would be about right. That's like 3 years after the one that's coming out next year. So that's enough time for him to do a new core game. I don't know.
Yeah. Nothing's like blown me off my socks going, whoa, this was awesome.
No, it's all pretty predictable, right?
I feel bad for Capcom at this stage. Like, it's like you're doing good stuff.
Yeah, but you're right though. It's not mind-blowing stuff. Like, we'll probably get around Monster Hunter 6. But...
I mean, I'll see Monster Hunter and I'll be like, ah! And I mean, it's the same as like when people like, oh, look at Batman. Ben Affleck's Batman looks like shit. What a loser. And then like there's the action sequence in Dawn of Justice where he beats the shit out of a bunch of people. And people are like, I mean, I never said anything shit about him.
We could say the same. Well, you said like, oh, Heath Ledger's a Joker. What a terrible choice.
Yeah.
I remember that commentary. Holy shit.
Wow. Yeah, how well that go.
Yeah. So like, I can't judge him. Like, because I don't know any, like, all we know is the title.
Which could be a working title or a secret title.
It's most likely a working title.
Yeah. Monster Hunter
Could be Phoenix Wright.
Ha! We're skipping.
You're really hoping for Phoenix Wright. Are you a Phoenix Wright fan, Matto?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You can teach me a bit about that franchise, because there's a lot of people that love that, but...
Nah, don't Google it.
Yeah, all you'll get is the meme. I object.
That's about all I know from that franchise is the I object, and that's about it. So, go figure.
Save the world.
So yeah, I mean,
take that. That's another one.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that like some shit band?
Hold it.
In like the 90s
Yeah,
or something?
that was Robbie Williams.
Oh really? Before he went off on his own.
Yeah, so there was Robbie Williams and the other 4. I don't know.
I wouldn't have had a clue.
The other 4.
I don't want to
just like NSYNC. It's like NSYNC as well. So there's Justin Timberlake and the rest of them.
Joey Fatone.
Or Joey Fatone, yeah. The other guy. And Lance Bass.
The most important member, Joey Fatone, because of Robot Chicken. That's why we remember.
Apparently they're even still a band, take that. Thanks, Wikipedia.
What?
Yeah. But past members
go.
include Robbie Williams and a man called Jason Orange.
Oh, what a man.
Anyway, I'm going to get
How is that not an action hero character right there? Orange. What's his first name?
Jason
Orange.
Jason Orange.
Imagine if that was changed Jason Bourne to Orange. The Orange identity.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Matto, what do you think overall when it comes to the list there? Because, yeah, I think I'm with Damo. That kind of seems cool, but unsurprising.
I'd say the only exciting thing there is Monster Hunter, but that's, like I said, that's not for another 4 years. And there'll be plenty of other games to play until then.
I think now that I know a timeline for Resident Evil 4, like, I was looking forward to that remake, especially now that I've kind of fallen for the franchise in recent years. But the fact that I know when it's going to come out now means that I kind of have a rough idea that, you know, probably middle of next year. I don't know. I suppose this Resident Evil Outrage is meant to come out late next year, but, you know, sometime mid to late next year, we're going to get our first teaser for that. And as soon as something appears on my screen that looks slightly horror E. I'm going to go, it's Resident Evil 4. And there's not going to be that jaw-dropping moment.
Ooh, that's tough.
Like, they've kind of, with every game now, it's not their fault, obviously. Like, someone broke into their servers and stole a whole bunch of information, not just their release stuff, but people's personal details and stuff. Like, it's a serious thing. But, like, just purely on the consumer side, I'm like, that just kind of nips all the excitement for it.
It ruins the excitement for everyone.
Yeah.
Just imagine Cyberpunk came out and... I mean, the excitement's pretty much gone. It was meant to come out a year ago, but...
Yeah, and now, but I mean...
Just imagine if they showed Keanu Reeves before E3. It wouldn't be exciting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's just walking around calling people fabulous. No,
Amazing.
calling...
Breathtaking.
Amazing. Breathtaking.
Breathtaking. You think of the song by that Alex Lloyd guy.
Amazing.
Yes.
You amazing.
I can feel the copyright strike coming now.
Oh, God. No,
I saw the other day someone on Twitch started a blender. He got copyrighted for playing a Skrillex song. I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, that's quite funny.
I don't know. There's all sorts of stupid shit going on Twitch when it comes to licensed music.
He just turned on a modem, did he? A dial-up modem. Somebody was like, "Oh, yeah, it's a Skrillex song." Ban him.
Shut him down.
No, look. I'm kind of lost at a loss here for words. I'm a little upset because it's like, cool, Capcom. Glad to see you're working on anything new.
I'm hoping that there's new stuff around that.
But... I mean, maybe that was just their core stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like everything else had code names, so it was like, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
Though let's cross our fingers and hope that Resident Evil Hank is also a code name. Please, God.
So I suppose there's no Devil May Cry in there.
Yeah, that seems odd.
It's odd. Maybe they couldn't get to that.
There was Devil May Cry. Maybe Devil May Cry. Maybe Resident Evil Hank is Devil May Cry.
And also Phoenix Wright.
Dante, Hank!
Checks out, makes sense. I mean, Resident Evil 4 was Devil May Cry at one point, if you want a history lesson on that one.
That's weird.
I feel like we're about to hit Blue Harvest.
What was going to be Resident Evil 4 at one point in time ended up becoming Devil May Cry. They realized it wasn't Resident Evil-y enough, and it was worth them turning it into a...
Wasn't evil enough.
Yeah, wasn't Resident Evil enough, but wasn't quite right for that franchise, so they split it off into its own franchise, and that was Devil May Cry, and then they went off and made Resident Evil 4, which became, everyone's favorite Resident Evil.
Cult classic.
So there's a little bit of Resident Evil and Devil May Cry trivia for you, but yeah, I think it's weird that Devil May Cry's not there either. It's good to see Mega Man though. I'm pretty happy that Mega Man's popping up, like new Mega Man.
Mega Man is just the Phoenix Wright game there. Yeah, no, Rockman. Wait, no, this is very much like Phoenix Wright. Fuck it, let's call it Phoenix Wright. Put Mega Man's face on it. That'll sell. Phoenix rocks up.
Just in court.
Scotsman, you are accused of this crime.
Objection.
No.
And then he starts throwing metal discs at them and just slices them in half. Damo's just hold on to that drink.
That was close.
Any closing thoughts at all? Because I think that's about it for this one.
Said your piece on that. It's. I just wish they wouldn't do it though. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, hack, like, I love the Capcom, but like, not a big company or anything like that. It just kind of sucks that people do that. Like, they've taken away all that surprise and fun for us fans by doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that is part of the whole idea of, holding them to ransom is like, if you don't give us the money, we'll do this. If you don't give us the money, we'll do this. We'll do this and we'll do this. And they just started leaking shit from personal details to...
Yeah, and that's
titles.
Fine. It's like, but,
it's a shame.
You don't negotiate with terrorists.
And they didn't, and now we know about all the games. So
exactly. So
all of them.
It's a victory for no one.
Or maybe they're just laughing, going, "Ha, these idiots! They got the wrong games."
They all think it's legit, and it's not. Resident Evil Hank's coming out
actually-
next year.
It's their shitty server that was like an abandoned thing. It's like, haha, we've got all these things. Like, yeah, they're all the employees that died this. So, good, dox them. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was just some really bad formatting. So it was, like you've got all this list, and the last row actually just said Resident Evil, and then this guy, an employee there, just stuck like his name was Hank, and he went to go sign off in an email writing Hank at the end. They hacked, stole that, and they're like, "Oh, Resident Evil Hank. All right, let's upload
it's
that.
gonna be
Let's stick that on the
Resident
internet."
Evil King of the Hill. How did I not see that? I got some propane, Bobby. Gonna kill some goddamn zombies.
These scientists. Oh, if you are, but you are, you know.
Dad, why there were so many zombies? God damn it, Bobby. Shut the fuck up and start killing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know, a little bit hit too hick on that one.
On that note, we'll wrap things up there. So if you enjoyed this episode of Patched, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell, that way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes more Patched, Player 2 plays like Game of You, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Some awesome stuff there, so please subscribe and go and check it out. Matto's series on Max Payne 3 is starting to come to an end at this point. We've got about 4 episodes to go, I think it is, or 6. I don't know, I've lost track of time. Four. But there's a whole bunch of Max Payne 3 there, so go check that out, as well as a million other Player 2 plays dedicated to next-gen titles and other sorts of random stuff that can and some of the others find.
Games.
So, Hyrule Warriors is there before my Switch dock died. That's a story for everyone. We'll save that for another time. Maybe for the patchies. So, yeah, visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series, Patch, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks at the lower tiers, early access, higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And then there's Twitter. Damo, where can you be found?
Tacos Talks.
Matto?
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for me, Player2AU for the website. Just a quick note that we've now hit over $5,000 for the Player 2 Marathon, so that's a huge accomplishment. So thank you to everyone who's helped donate for that. People have been notified for all the small prizes, and I believe today is the day that the winner of the Xbox Series X gets revealed. Today, the day the episode goes live. So if you're a listener of this show, congratulations for winning the Series X. Yeah.
If you could just deliver that straight to me, Paul, that'd be great.
And if you're also a listener and you didn't get it, well, tough luck.
Chin up. Should have donated more money. No.
Hey, careful. Don't be like that guy that was like,
I'm kidding.
I don't care about your feelings, and then got doxxed and all his PlayStation 5s stolen.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. That's a great story.
That is a great story.
That's what you get for being a dickhead and
Let me tune into a patched episode coming to you with crazy gaming stories.
Let me rephrase that. If you didn't win the Xbox, better luck next year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe we'll have another one.
Maybe we'll have 3 PS3s.
Or 5 PS5s.
And on that note, thanks all for watching. Go Hank.